Everyone online talks about the relief: cheaper rent, slower days, more space to breathe, but almost nobody talks about what you lose. And not the obvious stuff, not missing home, not culture shock. I mean the quiet losses, the ones that don't show up on camera, the ones you only feel at night when the pressure is gone, but something else takes its place. Because leaving doesn't just remove stress, it replaces it. You've seen the videos: people smiling in new countries, ocean shots, balconies, coffee in the morning light. What you don't see is how quiet their phone becomes, how familiar voices fade, how the old version of them stops being reachable. Nobody films that part because it doesn't look dramatic. It just feels strange. Here's what actually happens when you leave. You expect relief, and yes, financially, that often comes first. Rent pressure eases, bills lose their grip, you finally exhale. But pressure has a way of reshaping itself. When money stops screaming, identity starts whispering. You're no longer reacting, you're no longer scrambling. You finally have space, and that space forces questions you were too busy to hear before. Who am I without the grind? Who am I without the struggle? Who am I when survival isn't the storyline? That's the part nobody prepares for. And here's the uncomfortable truth: some people don't miss the stress, they miss the clarity it gave them. Because pressure, for all its damage, tells you who you are: provider, striver, survivor, and adult. When that pressure disappears, those labels loosen, and that can feel less like freedom and more like floating. So people respond in different ways. You can fully embrace the new life. Some people dive in completely. New routines, new social circles, new identity. This works best for people who are already comfortable with being self-directed, internally motivated, okay without external validation. They don't need an audience to feel real. For them, living abroad isn't an escape, it's alignment. But not everyone is wired this way. Some stay physically abroad, but mentally attached. This is far more common. You live in a cheaper place, but your mind stays in the old world. You still follow US news, you still compare timelines, you still measure yourself against people back home. This creates a strange tension. Your life feels easier, but also disconnected. Relief comes, but satisfaction doesn't. Some treat it as a chapter, not an identity. Some people do best when they stop asking, is this forever? They let it be a season, a reset, a recalibration. They don't force meaning. They don't force permanence. They use the distance to understand themselves, not reinvent themselves. This option is quieter, but often healthier. You can also realize it's not for you in return. This is the option nobody talks about honestly. Some people leave, feel the relief, then realize what they actually valued was familiarity, shared context, long-term roots. Returning doesn't mean failure. It means clarity, but only if you're honest about it. Now let's talk about what living abroad actually costs. Not in money, but in intangibles. You trade urgency for ambiguity. Back home, life may have been stressful, but it was clear. Abroad, life is calmer, but less defined. Some people thrive without urgency. Others feel unanchored. You trade recognition for anonymity. No one knows your history. Your past achievements don't matter. Your old reputation doesn't follow you. That can feel freeing or deeply disorienting, especially if your identity was built on progress. You trade shared history for present peace. You gain quieter days, but you lose shared memories unfolding in real time. Birthdays, inside jokes, small moments you only notice when they stop happening. That loss is subtle, but cumulative. You trade external pressure for internal questions. The biggest cost isn't loneliness, it's self confrontation. Without constant pressure, you're left alone with yourself. Some people finally meet themselves, others realize they don't know who they are yet. Living abroad isn't a win, and it isn't a mistake. It's a mirror. It removes the noise so you can hear what was always underneath. For some people, that's peace. For others, that's confusion. And for most, it's a mix of both. The real danger isn't leaving, and it isn't staying. It's pretending one choice has no cost. Because wherever you go, something stays behind. And the longer you live differently, the harder it becomes to explain, even to yourself, why you chose this life. Not everyone who leaves is escaping. Some are searching, and not everyone finds what they expected.